Well, you know what's
Mhm.
funny too, because it's something that I've said on the show so much is when you learn how to let go
Yeah,
of this false idea that you could control everything.
that's right.
When you let go, things start to happen. It's kind of like doors start to open that were closed before. And that's such
Right.
a people don't understand when they hear let go. I'm like, I can't let go. I have, I have to still like, I didn't they say stop, just sit down and wait for the door to knock. Get up and, I always say cut the wood, carry the water, but don't connect
I
where
say, "Get
that
off the
wouldn't.
cross, we need the wood."
Yeah, there's that too. But I always say that don't expect where this is all going to go. Just do the work. And if you're going on the right path, doors will start to open.
Yeah,
And
the Buddhists have a great saying that I love to use every day. It is, "You can't push the river. You just
you
gotta let it flow." You can't push the river, you
exactly.
gotta let it flow, and it's very, very true because when you open that space up, you allow the energy to flow, and it's all about letting the energy flow. So, I do a lot of work with people, we do what we call scanning, and we scan the body, energy of the body, and we'll scan the body, and there'll be certain, let's say the emotional body, there's some, I call it staining, and we'll say, "Oh, you have stain in there." "Oh, yes, I went through a divorce." Well, it's still there, and it's blocking the rest of the energy flow, and we have that every day, and I think it's really important that through meditation, through self-awareness, that you open up those channels every day because a lot of us, Alex, I don't know what your thoughts about this. We
Mhm.
take on energy from other people. I think we
Absolutely.
especially being sensitives beings here, this is energetic beings. And I think, and I want to hear, I'd like to hear your point of view on this because I
Sure.
just thought about this 2 weeks ago that, we take on other people's energy and many times we keep the energy there in our space. We tend to look at life or make choices based upon that person's energy because we're looking through rose colored glasses. Does that
Mhm.
make sense to you that we're not?
It does make sense to me because, I have a family, which is, all women.
Yeah.
My family, I have no boys, I have no testosterone in the house at all. And, as being the only male in the house,
Yeah.
a lot of times, there's some drama in the female side of the fence. Not with me,
Right.
just
Right.
on the because they're young
Right.
girls, and
Yeah.
so a lot of times I will pick up on that energy, and then I will notice myself change. And I would be like, and I start getting a little angrier, or I get a little bit more perturbed, or my patience threshold drops dramatically. In the only way, only in the way that family does.
Yeah.
Uh,
Right. Yeah. Greatest teachers. Yeah.
the greatest teachers. So I do notice that, but everybody I think can agree that when you walk into a room sometimes, you will go, "What happened just here?" Or if there was a fight before and now it's quiet, you walk in and go, "There's something in the air." We all
Yes.
can feel it, or you meet somebody and you wanna, like, take a shower afterwards, like you just met a car salesman, sorry, car salesman, or, a sales
Right.
guy of some sort, and you're just like, "Oh, I feel icky just being around this person."
True.
That's an energy thing. That's an energy thing. So absolutely, and a lot of times that energy will stick with you. I'm not sure if I'm the one-off with the salespeople, but or salesperson, a Nikki salesperson, but people that are close to you, absolutely. Your mother
Absolutely.
comes to visit, your father comes to visit, your brother comes to visit, and you have issues, or you
Yeah.
have history, or they say that word that just sets you off because of all that history. That sticks with you, and you can't make clear decisions when you're in that state.
Right. So I think it's really important. And the way I look at it, like, is many times it's programs. So because
Yeah,
broadcasting
of
is my
course.
degree,
Yeah, fair
that people are
programming.
sending programs and we pick up those programs and we see them and then we can realize whose program it is and let it go, or we don't recognize it and we make it our own. See, and part of it we get stuck there because we make their problems our problems, their energy is our energy, and it's their program, not our program, but we make it ours. So we have to be able to translate and find out whose program is this. Why am I feeling this way? What just happened that I'm sensing this? Am I holding on to this energy or can I let it go? And with mediumship, what I do with the work I do is many times I will pick up the energy of that person's
Oh,
how they passed away, the grief that they have from the spirit world. I shoulda, woulda, coulda, and it's so amazing because then when and you're working with someone who's in the living state and they hear their loved one, their auric field opens up and expands, and there was something was deep, dark, down, and dense opens up and expands, and you see a beautiful light. You feel beautiful energy, and they feel so much better, and the spirit feels so much better. So, and it's just a matter of love. So love is the best way for us to let go of other people's energy from our space and to really open up our own self as love of self, being aware of self. But love is the ingredient that brings all things together.
and, you and I both have studied Yogananda,
Yeah.
and studied the yogis,
Yeah.
in India,
Yeah.
and you hear these stories that there's nothing that really moves them in the sense of energy like that because so connected to the inner place, that thing that we were talking about earlier. They're
Right.
so connected to it that I think the Maharishi, they gave him some psychedelics. He ate a pot and didn't nothing. He just laughed after he ate it because he literally had so well controlled of his physical state and spiritual state that it didn't bother him. So those energies don't, they kind of just bounce off, or they don't even connect with him because at our deep understanding of who they're at a whole other level that you and I are not
Correct.
at this point.
Correct.
But does
Correct.
that make sense to you?
Completely, completely, and it's the emotional charge that, and it's that holding on to a charge, waiting for the outcome. What's the outcome? And there is no outcome. Everything should be neutralized. I think a good point, Alex, and I've helped a lot of people with this. It's helped me as well. Is you become the observer. You step back and you observe everything. It's almost like you're sitting in an audience watching a theatrical show, and you see the show play on stage, but you don't get involved in it. But you're aware of who the characters are and what's going on. But even life, you can be objective, be observant, be an observer of life. Don't be so involved when you don't have to be. Only when you're meant to. But just observing really helps a lot. Really helps a lot. Same thing happened to me with psychedelics. I was giving them, nothing happened. I was given some what was it, ayahuasca years ago,
Yeah.
and I had experienced people leaving the room and they were throwing up and having diarrhea and all this. I'm like, what's going on here? And I didn't feel any of that. And I just had an awareness, an awareness of my guide or my higher self, and it was kind of like validation of what I already knew. It was nice, but I don't need it.
To watch the full video, click on the link below, and don't forget to subscribe.